Welcome to Exponential Finance, where we connect AI, crypto, and markets to help you understand what matters and how to act each week. Today, we're drawing on insights from Jordi Visser.
Okay, let's dive right in. We're in the middle of this massive economic transformation, and today we're going to break it down into four interconnected forces that are pretty much changing everything. It all starts with a really provocative question. What if the next big economic boost, the new quantitative easing, doesn't come from a central bank like the Fed? What if it comes from technology itself?
And that leads us straight to our first force. You see, this isn't just about software anymore. It's a massive physical build-out. We're talking about a level of spending on infrastructure that's being compared to the industrial revolutions of the past, all of it driven by this just insatiable demand for AI.
And the tech giants, well, they are leading the charge. They are locked in a high-stakes arms race where the biggest fear isn't spending too much money, it's the fear of getting left behind. Alphabet puts it really clearly here. For them, they just can't afford to miss this wave.
I mean, the sheer scale of the spending is just mind-boggling. Take Amazon. They're projecting $125 billion in capital spending for 2025 alone. And they've already said they expect that number to go up again in 2026. This isn't just speculation. It's a direct response to what they're calling surging cloud and AI demand.
And what's really interesting here is who benefits. It goes way beyond the big tech names we all know. This is a classic picks and shovels play. I mean, think about what a data center actually needs. It needs semiconductors, of course. Companies like Paradigm are seeing their growth shift directly to AI. It needs a ton of power, which is why a company like Caterpillar, the one that makes tractors, sees its stock jump 12% in a single day because they sell generators. And it all needs to be kept cool, which is fueling huge demand for companies like Modine Manufacturing. The whole industrial ecosystem is getting a massive boost.
Okay, so let's move on to the second force and see how this build-out is creating these huge ripple effects across the financial markets. We're seeing a fundamental change in who's driving the market and, just as importantly, how they're doing it. What we're seeing is a major structural shift. A whole new generation of retail traders is becoming this dominant force, and it's all being driven by the explosion in something called Zero-DTE, or zero-data expiration options. These are contracts that expire the very same day they're traded. And just look at the chart. The volume in these same-day options just dwarfs everything else. This isn't long-term investing. This is high-frequency speculation on a scale we've never seen before.
So what this means is that the old playbook is basically out the window. The old buy-the-dip mentality, it's been replaced by a totally new dynamic, the gamma squeeze. This is a crazy fast price spike that happens when the dealers who sold call options are forced to buy the actual stock to hedge themselves against massive buying from retail traders. It's a powerful feedback loop that's driven entirely by short-term momentum, not long-term value.
And if you're sitting there thinking, okay, this is just a temporary phase, a bit of market froth, you might want to reconsider. According to Jordi Visser, this is a permanent change. You know, when people ask, when is the stupid buying by retail going to stop? His answer is blunt. I am here to tell you it will never stop. This is the market structure changing. This is the new normal.
Now let's connect the dots. This incredible technological acceleration and this new market structure, they're having profound consequences for the real economy. And that brings us to our third force, a massive deflationary shock.
So here's the core idea. AI is kicking off what could be the largest deflationary event in history because it's collapsing the cost of cognitive labor. Pretty much any work done behind a keyboard. And it seems to happen in 3 stages. First, you get hiring freezes, which, hey, we're already seeing. Next comes role restructuring, as AI agents start automating entire workflows. And finally, the potential collapse of labor cost, as the marginal cost of doing that kind of work gets closer and closer to zero.
This is creating a really stark split in the economy. It's quickly becoming a two-tiered system. As you can see here, high-income consumers are doing fine. Their spending is stable, maybe even growing. But for low- and middle-income groups, it is a completely different story. We're seeing companies like McDonald's and Chipotle report that this group is pulling back, facing headwinds like student loans and a tougher job market.
And you can see the cause of this split right in the data from the very companies driving this change. Just look at the Magnificent Seven. Their revenue growth is soaring, double digits. But since the launch of ChatGPT, their total employment growth has been flat to negative. Think about that. They are achieving way more growth with fewer people. That is the productivity paradox in action, and it has real consequences.
So this is the crucial point.
This level of disruption demands a new financial system. The old pipes just can't handle it. You need new plumbing for this new economic reality. And this is our fourth and final force. Crypto is quietly building that new infrastructure right now.
You know, this follows a pattern we've seen before. Remember the dot-com bust? After the bubble popped, companies quietly laid down miles and miles of dark fiber optic cable. That infrastructure sat there, unused at first, but it's what eventually powered the entire Web 2.0 revolution. Well, we're seeing the same cycle play out in crypto. After the 2021 bubble, there was this period of quiet, heads-down building. And now that infrastructure is maturing, getting ready for the next wave of applications. The key technology that makes all of this possible is tokenization. Now, it sounds complicated, but it's really simple. It's the process of converting the rights to any asset, a stock, a piece of real estate, you name it, into a digital token on a blockchain. This allows value to be transferred seamlessly, instantly, and super efficiently without all the traditional middlemen.
And the most powerful signal that this is going mainstream isn't coming from some small crypto startup. It's coming from the very heart of the traditional banking system. Zelle, the clearing interface for over 1,800 U.S. banks, is integrating stablecoins for international transfers. This isn't just a new feature. They're digitizing the entire U.S. dollar settlement layer. It's basically a Trojan horse for crypto adoption, and it bypasses the slow, expensive old systems like SWIFT.
So we've definitely covered a lot of ground. Before we get to the key signals to watch, let's just quickly recap two of the technical concepts that are really driving these huge market changes. First, the instruments that are fueling this new retail-driven market, Zero-DTE options. Just as a reminder, these are the contracts that expire the same day they're traded, and they are a major new source of market volatility.
And second, that powerful market dynamic they create, the gamma squeeze. This is that rapid, upward explosion in a stock's price that gets amplified when dealers are forced to buy the stock just to hedge their positions against a flood of retail call buying.
So what are the actionable signals to keep an eye on? First, the AI CapEx boom. Look beyond the big tech names and check out the industrial and semiconductor companies, the picks and shovels of this whole build-out. Second, the retail option structure. Keep an eye on those Zero-DTE volumes and any heavily shorted stocks for signs of potential squeezes. And finally, stablecoin adoption. Watch for any more news of traditional finance integrating blockchain, just like that Zelle development.
So you see, these four forces, the AI build-out, the new retail market, the great deflationary shock, and crypto's new plumbing, they aren't separate trends. They are all one single interconnected transformation. A new QE is here, and it's being driven by technology, which really leaves us all with one final, crucial question. If this helped, subscribe to the channel and visit exponentialtom.com, where we study all the technologies from the exponential age to improve our lives and stay ahead of the curve.